Hi friends, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. It has been a while, so I just wanted to give you guys an update on what has been going on at the NYU Navigators. Now, the way that I would summarize this past semester is that it has been a demonstration of God's faithfulness. Now, when we started this semester, let me even backtrack that a little bit. When we ended in May, we had a community of about 30 students. And about 10 of them graduated. So then we had 20. Then 10 of them were studying abroad this year because frankly they haven't been able to study abroad since this, pandemic. And so we only had a community of about 10 people. And not only that, we had a community, a staff team that has been the smallest that I've experienced since my first year on campus in 2011. So we only had a team of 2, me and Misa. And I even remember, my goodness, the first day when we started doing outreach, and it turned out that none of our students were available. So it was just Misa and myself doing the beginning of our outreach. And we had to call in support. We needed help. And so we got alumni. We had Shmiko come out of nowhere and support us. Rachel ended up helping. We had a previous staff member, Melissa, help us as well. And frankly, when I look back on that week, we reached out to about 1,300 people, and about 25 to 30% indicated a level of interest. I spoke at a multi-Christian fellowship event called the All-Campus Praise Night, where I spoke to over 100 people that day. We did fun experiments where we did like a coffee outreach with Mike Donovan with the NAV 20s. We did our normal, what do you call that? Like a Brooklyn Bridge pizza hangout with students. And frankly, that week, even though we had a fraction of what we're used to in a season like that, God was incredibly faithful. I would have to say, looking back on that outreach, it was just as successful, if not more successful than we've ever had before. Now, it cost us a lot as a staff team. We were following up a lot, and we spent a lot of hours in kind of engaging and caring for this a new community. And our students as well, our student leaders, their adaptation and dynamic kind of like just being able to support was beautiful and really supportive. And by the end of September, I have to say, like Misa and I, we were pretty exhausted. And this is where God's faithfulness again showed up, where we got 3 new staff team members. This was something that I found out that there was 3 people that wanted to join our team at the NYU Navigators, people that were starting their first year with the Navigators. But honestly, with just how much we need to raise and support, and them starting at the very beginning, I was planning for them to enter and support us in December. Well, they were able to raise their support in about 2 months, which is, I have to tell you, unbelievable. And so they joined us, and again, it was a beautiful, I remember our first orientation with Misa and I talking about our needs, our felt needs right now, and each one of our new staff basically saying, I can fill that void. I have experience or talents and gifting in those areas. And they have been an incredible relief. I have to tell you, I didn't even realize how much of my brain was carrying the weight of all these other things, because when you have such a big and expanding community, there's a lot on your plate, and they were able to immediately provide relief to kind of bring some sanity back to me, to be honest. And so again, God's faithfulness at work right there. And they came at a really beautiful and strategic time too, because only a week or 2 later, we had our Vermont retreat. Now, you've probably heard of the Vermont retreat already. It is a significant time in our community where acquaintances become lifelong friends. It's really where our community is genuinely formed. And you know what? The same thing happened again. We were able to bring more people to our retreat than we were able to do last year, and it was amazing. It was really fun. It was beautiful. It was cool to see friendships that it's so hard to have good friendships in New York City because of how much you are spent and stretched in so many different places. But that was a formative time. And it was also beautiful too, just a little side note, where the students that were studying abroad love and have been empowered by the Vermont retreat so much that they had their own Vermont retreat. Now they were in Europe, so it wasn't in Vermont, but they ended up taking the content and going through the rhythms that we did over the weekend as well. And so that was just really special to see them kind of sharing that in and everything. And so when I look back on this semester, it was an aligning semester. I can't tell you how many times we talked about how we as the Navigators are about life-to-life discipleship. Our theme this year is being disciples, but also the call to make disciples as well. And when we stepped into November, oftentimes we start a new leadership, and we've called the leadership team servant leadership team for so many years, but we've pivoted and we're changing it this year, where now it is going to be called the discipleship team. And we have 6 students that we are incredibly excited to come alongside with a new era, to be honest. Our vision this year, because of our theme, is really to say that we want to make sure each and every one of our community, which is probably in the 35 to 40 right now, plus these new, the students that are studying abroad are coming back, so it's going to be even bigger. We want to make sure that every student in our community can be in a discipleship relationship, to experience what it means to genuinely have a relationship where they're sharing life with each other, letting the Word of God lead them, and also helping them integrate their walk with God into all areas of life. And so we want that for our entire community, and we're trying some new strategies and techniques to try to make that happen, and we're really excited about it. But friends, when I look towards the future and I look towards next semester, I love your prayer. Please be praying for this new team that I have as the campus director. I want to see this team grow in terms of their voice and their talents and their gifts, and I want them to be falling in love with what God is doing in New York City and at NYU. I'll also be praying for this new discipleship team. Again, new risks, new challenges, new things that we're trying, and we just want, we really hope that God would be supporting in this stuff. And then finally, the last thing that comes to mind is that like last year I was feeling really encouraged, but then Omicron hit, and that really just sucked the momentum of what was happening at NYU. And I'm feeling so encouraged again this year, but I'm a little scared of what might happen in January that might stall us. So would we just continue to press on and continue to be dynamic and adaptive no matter what? I appreciate that, and friends, hope to hear from you soon. Really appreciate all of the support, all of the communication that you guys provided me in a very chaotic season, and I hope to hear from you soon. I just really appreciate getting good word. So again, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and talk to you soon. All right.